Hello, I'm Undedicated, and welcome to the first episode of Mysterious Mysteries. Tonight, I have an interview with a person who would remain anonymous for their own protection from the physical world as well as the spiritual. The interview I'll be giving tonight is about a woman whose home was haunted as a child. Later, she discovered that the home that she lived in had previously belonged to the military and that service members had lived there. Perhaps there is something more to the dark presence that our interviewee will speak about. Take a listen and decide for yourself.
Okay, so just local stories. There was something that we were talking about. I have an interviewee who wants to tell a story about something local to their area. You were telling me that story earlier, but now we're recording.
Oh, yeah, so in the house I grew up in, a lot of weird stuff would happen, and I would have trouble sleeping in my own room because there was something evil living in my room, and I wasn't the only one who saw it or felt it either. And supposedly, from what I understand, my home and the area that I grew up in, it's known as Edens. It's technically like the project center of my hometown. And supposedly those houses were built for to house the soldiers in World War II. The ones that worked at the armory. And if you look at a map, you can see there's one main road that goes through the area, the neighborhood. And each block is set up in basically like a half oval, and they're duplexes, and there's usually one singular domicile, and that was supposed to be for the commander of whatever platoon was in that half circle or on that block. But yeah, so I found that interesting after all that creepy stuff kept happening to learn that.
Well, that was a little bit of history. How did you come upon that information?
Research. A lot of people who are born in my hometown tend to stay in my hometown, and it's a very proud town. So those who grew up there like to tell, younger people what they know. So that sort of thing. Just research, that sort of thing.
So this word of mouth, there's a lot of, whenever you have like a local legend, there's a lot of
retellings,
different versions of a story, right? Yeah. There's in a version of one story, there may be a particular reason for a soldier that met with like an untimely end, and maybe the story changes how it happened from one person to another.
It could even be a soldier who had a drinking problem or something.
Right.
Was just angry all the time.
But then it's found eventually that there's at least a few things that end up being true in all of the stories. So that's where the core of the local legend being passed down from person to person. So I think the description of the homes sounds like something that's easy enough to research too. Mm-hmm. So I can take a look to see if there's any.
My hometown, above their library, actually has a small museum and historical association dedicated to items and information specifically about my hometown. So it really wouldn't be difficult to find information.
Now they do that as more of a community museum, not a ghost hunting or
correct
supernatural or anything like that.
Correct. Like we have artifacts from people who have lived in that town.
Okay.
That sort of thing. Yearbooks, newspaper clippings, maps, all kinds of stuff.
It always helps to build a picture of the kind of society it would have been at that particular time. just pictures of what the city looked like at a particular year and place, over 10 years, 10 years, 10 years. You get an idea of growth or something. So it wouldn't be a bad idea to do some looking at the little museum you mentioned.
Yep, and to this day, my hometown is very military friendly, very proud of our troops, that sort of thing. So,
Do you think any new stories, any new ghosts are created?
I don't know about that, but I believe it keeps the ones that are already there sticking around.
They see other soldiers, they died as a soldier.
Yep,
Okay.
they live the lifestyle. They
Okay.
see the lifestyle being lived. Might be harder for them to move on.
If you're attached to the world through means of bonds and familiarity, and all the people that you know have already passed away or weren't near you when you died, I guess just being a soldier would be a common enough bond to keep a ghost of a soldier occupied, involved. And a steady stream of new soldiers would just mean, soldiers.
Yeah. And like I said, my town is extremely close to a local military base that they even do like maneuvers on, tests, that sort of thing.
Do you think there's any way to find out if the soldiers have experienced issues with paranormal activity on that in that area?
I feel like the only time we could probably do that is if we catch them when they come in for lunch.
Do they have particular spots that they like to hang out around town?
Generally, kinda. A lot of them will get their laundry done at one of the laundromats. There's actually a restaurant in town that has a section of their restaurant closed off specifically so the military can eat in peace.
It might be nice
And they
to
love Subway.
buy a meal for a veteran or a soldier
You
who's
can do
on
that.
break from.
In fact, in that restaurant and the Subway, you can actually do that. Pay for a veteran's meal
Maybe we
or
could
soldier.
try and sit with
I've actually done it.
a soldier who's just working by them, just eating by themselves, occupy some time.
Usually they're not completely alone. They usually roll in with at least one other person.
Even better, and we can see if we have any ghost stories that they want to share.
Or anything maybe just odd that happens at their base, because I've heard some weird stories about that base.
I
too.
wonder if
I don't want to do this anymore.
that's what I wanted to do, but I don't want to do it anymore.
Yeah.
Well,
That's pretty back there.
What do you think of what you just heard? A secretive historical society? A dining area set aside just for the military? Does this town hold more secrets? Is there something mysterious going on around here? Perhaps we'll take a closer look. If we do, be sure to join us for episode 2 of Mysterious Mysteries. Thank you. I'm Undedicated. Have a nice evening.